Hello everybody and welcome back to Brooksburk Zoo. First of all, thank you for tuning in once again to this beautiful new series. I really do love this park, and here we are with our park map. I promised you in the last episode that we are going to have a park map where you can see where you are standing right now and what is all around you. So this is something that I dearly miss in the game. So maybe in the future we get something like that you can all implement in your parks. How I did this park map is pretty easy. I just made an in-game photo of the park map and built the map or created the map with the app Canva. You may have heard of it, and that's how I did it. Just used a custom billboard and put the photo in there. So what we are going to do today, we're going to do really a lot of things in this episode. Although the episode might be called Open the Gates, we are opening the gates to work inside the zoo, but unfortunately we are not going to have any guests or any new animals in this episode. But I hope you guys enjoy it nevertheless, because there's some great things happening in this episode. We are going to build a water fountain for the entrance plaza of our zoo. We are going to do some very creative stuff for our food section, for our little food court, and we are going to build a gift shop. So if you are interested in how to build all those things and do something creative with the building materials that we have in the game, then you should really enjoy this episode. First of all, I'm creating the water fountain, and I wanted it to be our zoo map to be part of that water fountain, and I wanted to have real water in it, which was quite a little bit of a struggle because it worked out, but it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. I had a few little problems and I spent a lot of time doing these things. Thanks to my people in Discord, I found a way to make it work, even though it was pretty hard to do. Here you can see I'm putting around those glass barriers to fill the fountain with water. And the plan was to fill the water in and then lower the barriers so that you don't see it anymore, so that we have the barrier inside the concrete pieces. That's why I'm pushing the barriers from left to right, that we will have it in the barriers. Here you can see it worked out completely fine for most of the part. But on the back side we have this long piece of the glass barrier. I couldn't sink it into the concrete pieces, and I just don't know why. I deleted the whole pool and flattened the terrain and did everything that was possible. It was just not possible to sink it into the ground, and don't know why. Still don't know it. If you have any idea on why this happened, just let me know in the comment section. I'm very curious to know how this happened and how I can make sure that this doesn't happen again in the future when I'm planning something like this. But when things happen, you just need to be creative and make the best out of it. So that's what I did here. I just used some higher concrete pieces and just covered the glass barrier in the backside. And I thought about filling it in with some of the mulch pieces and have some foliage in there. And then I thought I want the whole fountain to be a little bit bigger and have some kind of foliage around it to really be a little bit of a centerpiece in here. A little bit of a centerpiece is it's quite an understatement, because it is a big centerpiece, and I really do love it because it is very centered towards our park entrance. And this means if you enter the zoo, you're going straight towards the fountain, and you will see it in a later stage. It looks really, really, really great. So here's something that I usually don't do, or don't do that often. I'm using grid pieces. Using those grid pieces also means that unfortunately I can't put the fountain in the workshop for you to download it, because these grid pieces are in two different building groups. So it is not possible to connect those two different groups together so that we can make one building out of this fountain. And that also does mean that I can't put it in the workshop as a building. In theory, I might try this out. In theory, I might be able to put it in the workshop as a habitat, but for that, I think I have to delete the pool, because I don't think that it is possible to have a habitat around, around the barrier. I just don't know. I might try this out, and if I make it happen and you can download it in the workshop, I will let you know in the next video. And also put the link in the video description so that you can download the fountain for your parks as well. I also was thinking about something. Here you saw what I meant. I also was thinking about something. I know that many of you guys struggle with building entrance areas and entrance buildings and stuff like that. So what I was thinking about is, maybe you guys would be interested in downloading the whole entrance area. So I was thinking about putting Brooksburk Zoo in the state that it is right now in the workshop, so you can download it and build your own zoo out of it. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. If you want to have that, I'm very happy to upload it to the workshop so you can use it for your own builds and for your own zoo. Build your own zoo. And it would be very exciting to see what you make out of it. So just let me know in the comment section, and I will be happy to upload it to the workshop so you can use the whole thing as an entrance for your future zoos. Okay, so I'm just covering up the path and the space around the fountain. And on the back side we had this super boring wall, and I decided to put something like a staircase around it to make it look a little bit nicer. Yeah, the next thing is I was building something like, I don't know the word in English, is it called a pedestal? In Germany we call it a podest. Where our sculptures can sit on. And I wanted to have two elephants in there that spread, is it the correct word, that spread the water to towards each other over the zoo map. So I used these elephants. I know they are looking like they would be, or they might be, wooden elephants, which doesn't make that much sense to use wood for a water fountain, but yeah, we had nothing that would match better, so I decided let's go with it. And here you can already see what I was doing also on the backside of the fountain with the big concrete wall. I was using all of these concrete animal statues that we have in the game and put it inside the wall so that they are sticking out of it to give this yeah, something like a relief. And I really like how the whole thing looks, because this is something that you would love to see, and that you actually could see on the entrance plaza of a zoo. After this video, we are not completely finished with everything that I was planning around the entrance area of our zoo, but I decided I want to let you guys to decide what we are going to do. First of all, I think in the next episode it is time to build our first habitat for animals, so that we finally would have not just animals in the zoo, but also to get some visitors into our zoo and see how they interact with everything that we built so far. So that is something that we are going to do. And I was thinking about having something like a backstage area for our staff members, right next to the entrance. Maybe you can remember where we have the ticket booth for our visitors. On the left side we have the path going around the entrance building, and I was thinking of having some kind of a backstage area there. So I decided, if you guys want to see how I built that backstage area, we are going to do that in a later stage. So maybe in about 4 or 5 episodes into the zoo, when we have the first animals in there, and build the backstage area, that you can see how I'm doing things. And if you say you are not interested in seeing this, also let me know. Then I will do this off screen and just have a little walkthrough with you guys after I finish this. Yeah, just let me know. I had to cut out a lot of stuff in this episode, because the whole build that you can see in this episode took me about 6 hours, I think so. And I didn't want to have an episode that is much more than half an hour for you guys to watch, because I know that it might be very, very, very boring if you watch the whole time how I create things. Nevertheless, I tried to keep in most of the creative parts that I was doing in here, so that you guys can actually see how things are done, or how I'm doing some things, especially here now in the second part of the video, where we are going to have some decoration for our food corner, food plaza, food corner, food court, that's it. Yeah, I was using those metal pieces. I also did use those pieces for my build in Litchfield Zoo. Yeah, I built something similar, but not the same. I tried to have something like a grill in here, where our burgers are actually grilled. I wanted to have something like a fryer in here as well. So I was trying out which pieces I could use for that. And then I had these pieces for the air condition system that were just perfect to simulate a fryer. I used some art pieces on top of it, colored them in black, and used them on top of it, so that it actually looks some kind like like a fryer. At least my community in Discord said it does look like that, and they immediately knew what I was building here. So I hope they didn't lie to me, and you guys also can see what it should be. Yeah, here I'm trying now to create the grill using those metal beams that we got from the Europe DLC to put a frame around it. And after that, I'm using some pieces that I really like these days, which are those cable pieces, because they are quite similar to those metal beams that we had in the Aquatic DLC, but they are much thinner, so you can simulate much better things with them. So here I did a little bit struggle with the height of those cable pieces because they were sticking into the fire, and when I lowered the fire down it was too low, and so yeah, I had to make a compromise, and in the end I'm quite happy with how the whole thing looks. Those fireplaces are very, very cool if you want to simulate something like a grill station, because because of the effects of it. You might see it later. And I also did see how to use some of these Australian art pieces that we got with the Australian DLC. You can use them and create something that looks like burger patties. I hope they do look like burger patties. I can't even tell you if it is the correct color. Maybe they don't look that delicious, but as some of you guys know, and some of the newer guys of you don't know yet, I'm colorblind, so I have difficulties when it comes to coloring pieces in Planet Zoo. Mainly, my problems are mainly for the colors red, brown, and green. So I can see those colors, but I can't tell you which color it is. So I noticed that there is a difference, but I can't tell you, is it brown, is it red, is it green? So that is always quite a struggle. So if you see me build something like a building and I do something like wooden floors or wooden roofs, you're absolutely free to let me know in the comment section of my videos that I used the wrong color. So if I'm doing green floors or red floors or something, sometimes I might ask you guys if it is the correct color that I was using. I'm absolutely not mad at you if you comment and tell me that it is the wrong color. I would also be very, very happy for you guys if you could share with me some of the color codes for nice brown tones in the game, because I always struggle with that if I do, like I said, wooden floors or wooden wall pieces, and I try to color them in because I just can't find some brown colors. That is always big struggle for me, because I'm planning to do things and make it look beautiful, but I'm not able to because I just can't figure out which color I should take. So if you have any color codes for light brown, darker brown, or whatever, I would be so happy if you let me know in the comment section, so I can use that instead of looking in the color wheel what color might be brown and not red or green. So yeah, thank you in advance for that. Yeah, as we finished our food court, I was doing something similar to our drink shop, to Gulpy. I wanted to have another color in there, so I was not going with blue, white, and black. So I was going with red and yellow and white, and to give it something like a more fresh look. That was the plan. And to be honest, our staff member doesn't look that happy in here. I really do hope he likes his job and he would still be there when we are opening the zoo, because that would be such a mess when we have the first guests and they have nothing to drink in there. Yeah, here was trying to do something different. putting some of those wooden planks right in between to, yeah, just for decorational effects. They don't have any practical use. Yeah, and after that I just put some decoration in there, like fruit and stuff. And as I was thinking, the whole place around those food and drink shops looked a little bit boring. I put in those walls in between for, I guess, for a little bit of privacy for our guests. Yeah, and there we are. We have finished our second project for this video, and now we are going into the final project, which is going to be the gift shop. I cut out a lot of stuff right here because you guys already know how I'm using those wall pieces if you watched the last episode. If you didn't, just give it a try and watch what I'm saying about building stuff like this using prepared wall pieces. That makes building so much easier. So I changed some parts of the building a little bit because I wanted to have an entrance in here where our guests can enter the gift shop. Yeah, but in the end, you know how the whole thing works, how I'm putting down those wall pieces and build the frame for our gift shop. Just using all those pieces that I already prepared in the first episode, make it look nice and a little bit similar to the building, to our entrance building, so that it is in the same style and so that it matches the whole vibe. Yeah, I was not quite sure how to place the building. In the end, I didn't like it to be like this because it seemed that it would make the whole entrance area way smaller than it should be and way more tight, and I wanted it to be a little bit more open and give it a little bit more space so that this area can actually breathe. So I decided to to turn it a little bit in a later part of the video, so that it is parallel to our entrance building, so that we have much more open space. So first things first, I was doing some construction in the inside of the building. I really loved those little spaces in the middle, and I decided that I want to have our shop stuff to sit in there, so that we have the counters in there. So one on the left and one on the right side. You will see this in a minute. So I was going to have Heads Fantastic on the left side, and I wanted to say uno momento, but it is just a momento on the right side. Yeah, the thing is, I wanted to have our guests walk into the whole building. So I wanted this building not to be just a decoration. I wanted to have our guests be able to actually go in there and interact with the building, if you might say so. I'm also apologizing because we in fact do have some sea fighting going on in there, not just in the shop but also on the outside with those concrete pieces that I'm using to cover up those gaps in our path. I hope you guys don't mind. I know it doesn't look that pretty, but sometimes I'm just go with it because you can't do anything about it. If you have something planned in your head and you want something to look a certain way and it just doesn't work out, sometimes you have to, do you say that in English? Sometimes you have to die a little. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, here you can already see I was thinking about, because PS Vision Gaming that I was mentioning in the last video as well, where I stole the idea with the Siamang statues that I covered into the ground. Let me know in the first episode of Litchfield Zoo, or just ask me if the visitors of our zoo are entering the zoo through the same gate as they are leaving it, or otherwise. And I was thinking about, and yeah, it totally made sense that you don't exit the zoo through the same gate where you are entering it. And so I was thinking about having a separate exit. We don't do have that right now because, to be completely honest, I wanted to have those area that could be an exit right now to be the backstage part that I was talking to you guys a few minutes ago. But yeah, we will definitely have a separate exit in this zoo at some point when I'm going to do the backstage area as well. But yeah, but first of all, we want our guests to enter the zoo and not to leave it already. So what I'm doing here is putting lots of decoration and potential gifts for our visitors in here. And I wanted to have something like a price tag. You can see it all around here, that I placed a lot of those signs that we have, the memorial signs. Is it called memorial signs? I'm completely sure there is a different word in English for that. I used all of these signs to simulate something like a price tag or something like a description what those masks and pictures and stuff is, and what you can do with that. So I thought they looked really nice because they have a nice size, and it totally would make sense to have something like this in here. Sure, I could have done a little bit more. I could have made my own price tags, because you can change the pictures in those memorial signs. You can upload custom pictures, but I decided to not do that because I like to put in the work, especially in this zoo, because I told you guys that I want to go into detail, but I also said that at some point it has to be enough. And I think making 20 or 30 different price tags for those things in the shop, that is something where I'm making a point, where I don't where I'm not willing to do that. So the next thing that I was doing here is building something like a box that you might see in a store as well, with some chain link around it, where we put in some balls. Because every time when I'm doing something like a gift shop, I always forget about the animal enrichment items, although many of them are perfect for a gift shop. Because we do have balls in there, we do have keyboards in there, we do have disco balls in there, and stuff like that, and that is so perfect for a gift shop. So I built this box, and then I put in Yeah, first of all I put in a bottom with those Arctic wooden planks or wall pieces, and then I put in some balls. And the interesting thing about this is, I hope I didn't delete it. You have this little metal piece underneath those balls, and I tried to hide it as much as possible. And the thing is, as soon as you hit the play button, you might see that those balls just jump all around there, and yeah, make their own space in there so that it actually looks very realistic. And I was very happy with that, because I didn't have to place every single ball the way that I wanted it. They just jumped to the place that they had to be, which was pretty cool. And I was, yeah, I could have done that the whole time, because I just was amazed about that. Yeah, and we also do have those rubber duckies, which are also flexi color. So that was also pretty fun to do something like that. Here I'm building some kind of a table where we present those rubber duckies later. First, I wanted to use those Australian wall pieces, but they were too thick for the table, and so I decided to go with those wooden planks. And I also built those tables in different sizes. Um, yeah, because I wanted to have one that is low, a little bit lower on the ground, and one that is a little bit higher. And yeah, that's how the whole thing looks. As I said, I put a lot of decoration on there. Some make sense and some don't, but I think for a store or for a gift shop it looks pretty nice, and we have lots of stuff in here, lot of stuff to look at. And yeah, in the end I'm pretty happy with how the whole thing looks. I also, as you can see, I also used some of those. They are not really plushies, but they look like plushies that we got with the Twilight DLC, and put them in a box as well. Yeah, some more of the signs. And then I started noticing that it was raining. Usually in sandbox mode, I don't do weather effects, because I always want it to be sunny and warm, because I love to play, yeah, to build things when I actually can see things. That's something that I dislike very much in franchise mode, because you have rain and snow, and it is very hard to build with those weather conditions, and I always turn them off in sandbox mode. Yeah, here I was preparing the roof, because it looked pretty weird with those twilight roof pieces that we had on top of it, so that I had to cover this up. I used those Arctic wooden wall pieces to cover it on both sides, and I was thinking of leaving the rest of the building open, so that we have something like a, yeah, like a high roof. So that's why I put in those wooden beams in between, but I wasn't that happy with it, and so I decided to go with some wooden planks to, yeah, to cover the roof, as you can see right here. I have to be completely honest with you guys. At this point, I don't know what you commented about it, or if you even did comment about it, but I'm not too happy with the roof of the entrance building, and also of this gift shop building. Yeah, I might change that in the future when I have some other ideas, but right now I'm not too happy with it. So the next thing that I was doing is build a door, or the next thing, it's also the last thing that we might do before we finish the building. I wanted to have a glass door, and yeah, I cut out some stuff because I didn't like the windows after all in the end of the video, with those not see-through windows from the outside, because I thought as a guest, if you want to have your guests go into the gift shop, then you might as well want them to see what is inside there. So I decided to change the windows in see-through windows so that our guests can actually see what is inside the gift shop. Yeah, here covering up the parts right in between. Make the door look functional. Yeah, and here I was changing lighting and weather conditions. The next thing is covering our mulch pieces with some foliage, and after that is done, we are finished. So I'm going to take you guys onto a little tour right now. Are you ready? So here we are. Let's enter our zoo through the entrance gate. And here you can already see the fountain is right in the middle of the entrance plaza, and I'm very, very happy about it. And as I promised you guys, I did update the zoo map. Here you can see what we built in this episode. Our gift shop and our fountain is already on the map. So I'm going to leave you guys alone right now. Have fun with looking at everything that we built in this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did so, leave a like, subscribe to my channel. That would help me so much. And if you have something to say about the video, if you did like something or you disliked something, just let me know in the comment section. And I hope you guys tune in next week when we are going to build our first habitat for our first animals and welcome our first visitors in the zoo. So stay tuned, guys. Bye.